Class, here is your week one lecture, and we're looking at managerial communication. Um, so effective managerial communication is essential in today's complex business environment. The ability to communicate clearly, concisely, and persuasively is crucial for managers at all levels. And the increased volume of information, diverse cultures and communication styles, and a wide range of business specificities or specialties present significant communication challenges. All right. And the chapter and the book that you'll be using this semester aims to provide a guide to navigate these complexities and enhance managerial communication effectiveness. And just FYI, you may hear my baby in the background, so apologies for that. A little bit on the origins of managerial communication. So, managerial communication evolved from the intersection of management and communication theories. So, there's the evolution of management theory from classical approaches such as Theory X, which has to do with scientific management, administrative management, bureaucratic management, etc., to the human relations movement, which is Theory Y, focusing on employee motivation and social interaction. And then there are contemporary approaches such as Theory Z, which has to do with quality circles. So these significantly impacted communication practices. Early management theories viewed employees primarily as laborers, whereas later theories recognize their value as a source of ideas and contributions. Um, Communication studies have also evolved, shifting from a focus on message transmission as a sole communication strategy to a deeper understanding of interpersonal relationships and their influence on organizational dynamics. And this overlap of management and communication gave rise to this study of managerial communication. So what is the role of managerial communication? So effective managerial communication is essential for achieving organizational goals. Simply put, managers play diverse roles. They're planners, they're organizers, they're leaders, they're controllers, and each role requires skillful communication. And the text that we're using this block highlights the importance of two-way communication, which is ensuring that managers not only convey information, but also understand their employees' perspectives and concerns, which is very important. And the key functions of management, which again are planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, are intricately linked to effective communication. So a strong communication competency will allow managers to translate organizational goals into productive actions, leading to enhanced efficiency and hopefully profitability. And the book stresses the need to consider the impact of communication across all levels of management, which is the top, middle, and front line, and the importance of upward, downward, and horizontal communication flows. The textbook also talks about communicating to motivate, which is very, very important. Motivation is a key element of successful management. Managers must utilize communication strategies to inspire and encourage their employees if they want to run successful organizations. The communicate to motivate, the CMM model, which you will review, emphasizes the interplay between managerial functions, which we talked about, planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, and managerial resources, which is material, financial, informational, and human, to achieve organizational goals. Effective communication is seen as the golden thread that binds these elements together. And your textbook highlights the importance of intrinsic, which is emotional and personal needs, and extrinsic, tangible rewards motivators, and the need for managers to understand and cater to the specific needs of their employees. It also warns against the potential pitfalls of overly friendly relationships, blurring the professional line and hindering effective communication. A little bit about managerial communication by management tier. So the book analyzes communication responsibilities across different management tiers. So top management usually sets strategic direction and overall goals. And communication at this level is primarily focused on conceptual ideas and conveying the organization's vision. The middle management translates top management's directives into actionable plans and guides the implementation process. So communication at this level, the middle management level, focuses on translating conceptual goals into practical actions. And then you have your frontline management, and um, they direct and supervise employees in the day-to-day execution of tasks. And so communication is usually operational and task-oriented. And research indicates that communication flow doesn't always follow the theoretical hierarchical model. Middle managers often act as filters and interpreters rather than simply conduits of information. A little bit about communication policies within organizations. Organizations need clearly defined communication policies to guide employee behavior and ensure effective information flow. And while these policies may not always be formally documented, the organizational culture and climate reveal unspoken norms and expectations. And with that, I'll challenge you to think about any not necessarily documented, but unspoken norms or cultural aspects of the organizations that you're a part of that employees abide by, specifically in their communication strategies. A supportive and open organizational climate fosters effective communication, and it encourages participation at all levels. And your textbook recommends implementing tools that facilitate open communication and that gather employee feedback. The example given was IBM's JAMS, JAMS program, and it is cited in the text to illustrate effective communication. And also the importance of addressing ethical communication practices within policies is also highlighted. And then lastly, the chapter also discusses the challenges of information overload and the need for managers to effectively filter and prioritize information. Communication in teams. Effective teamwork relies heavily on effective communication. Fortunately, there are no team activities in this class, and I say fortunately because um, you get to learn effective communication and learn effective communication strategies in this class. And then you get to take that information to other class where you will need to work in teams. And hopefully you can utilize that information to have effective team dynamics. So in this class, we won't have any team assignments. We'll be learning about effective communication that you can then translate into other classes. And I'm smirking because I'm teaching another class called Global Business Management, where there is teamwork, and we'll see how they do with their team communication and team dynamics. But again, effective teamwork relies heavily on effective communication, right? Members of the team need to communicate. And the book explores the dynamics of team communication. And it emphasizes the importance of team formation, which is establishing clear roles, responsibilities, and goals. It talks about the communication channels to be used, both the formal and informal channels, and using them effectively. It talks about cohesion, team cohesion, which is building trust, open communication, and mutual support and respect. And then the biggest part of this, because all of that sounds easy, right? But then the addressing challenges, how to avoid groupthink, how to manage conflict, how to address cultural differences. The textbook also addresses the unique challenges of virtual teams, particularly in terms of managing time differences, communication technologies, building trust across distances, right? And there are various phases of team development and team communication, which is the forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning, right? Last, I want to talk about ethical issues in managerial communication. So the textbook emphasizes the vital importance of ethical considerations in managerial communication. It identifies just various forms of unethical behavior and provides examples, including dishonesty, manipulation, secrecy, and unfairness. And it stresses the need for a clear code of ethics and training programs to promote ethical communication practices, emphasizing the importance of considering the perspectives of all stakeholders when making decisions. The book talks about the use of objectivity, fairness, and detachment in decision making, along with the need to understand potential long-term consequences. And there are cautions against relying solely on legal compliance or popular opinion as the basis for determining um, ethical conduct. So those are the key points that I wanted you to take away from this week's materials.